twisted, I'm gone, cause I don't rap for me, I rap for him who sits on the throne. I was once
So do you have me on video? Can you hear me?
I was blinded on the trail and then the scales begun lifting.
Yeah.
No pun intended, my old life I'm done with it. Old tree, he's dead and gone like he was on some hit list. I come spitting over beats with drums kicking. How I'm rapping over tracks, got these cats tongue twisted. Look, I'm committed to see the glory that he once stripped. The spirits giving lyrics, I'm just here to run with it. I ain't conflicted, I keep my message consistent. I'm no longer standing on sand, my foundation's unshifted. I come gifted, lyrics flowing like they from liquid. God be flaming up my mic, sorta like the sun kissed it. I'm done with business, for his glory I still run the distance. Spirit got me flipping over beats like I'm a gymnast, so I'm gon' risk it. No longer heaven's unlisted. What I'm writing now before I couldn't comprehend it.
Coming to you live from the Christ the Healer TV studios at the beautiful Lake of the Ozarks. This is the 1412 Live, helping you to do the works and the greater works. Here's your host, Don Allen.
Welcome to the program. 19 days. We have 19 days. This is unbelievable. We have 19 days until the presidential elections here in the United States. 19 short days. I'm going to tell you what, I have never felt that we weren't ready for an election, but I feel that way right now. I feel that way right now. I don't feel like we're ready for this. Will more Trump tapes be leaked? Howard Stern says no. He's not going to release any more of them. Are there any WikiLeaks surprises that are going to be coming up? There's been a huge email dump that has taken place. How many more women are going to try to come forward to smear the Republican candidate? Does anybody care about the WikiLeaks leaked emails? Does anybody care? Is anybody paying attention to the scandal of the Democratic nominee? I don't think so. Is something going to come out in the next 19 days that is going to rock this whole election cycle? Will tonight's debate give us a clear view of who might win this thing? We have so much to talk about today, so little time. I'm your host, Don Allen. I am a loner, but I'm never alone. From the big island of Hawaii via Skype, the co-founder of this ministry, Matt Davis, is joining us. He's ready to talk some politics today. Appreciate him being up and at it today. Before we jump into that today, allow me to make an announcement. Upcoming third annual 1412 Winter Summit. We got to get the voice going, the summit. Matt and I are inviting you to make plans right now to join us for the third annual 1412 Winter Summit hosted by Two Guys and the Bible and the 1412 Radio Network. Join us on Tuesday, January the 3rd through Friday, January the 6th at the Christ the Healer TV studios at the Laurie Terrace Mall in Laurie, Missouri. That's located at the beautiful Lake of the Ozarks. Meetings are 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. daily. And this year we added something special. We're going to be having breakout sessions at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. daily. At 2 p.m., you can join Dr. Glenn Hartline of the Heart to Heart radio program for Identity School. And at 4 p.m., join Tommy Tompkins Jr. for Christian business leadership classes. And we have another amazing lineup of speakers coming. They're coming from all over the United States. Tuesday at 10 a.m., it's Matt Davis of the ABC's radio program. 7 p.m., it's Mike Bateman of the Gospel According to Mike radio program. Wednesday, join me along with Shy and a number of guests for the 1412 Live radio show. We're going to have a whole bunch of guests on that day. On Wednesday, it's the prophetess, Reverend Helen Lowry is going to be up in the studio. Thursday at 10 a.m., it's revivalist Kirk DeMars of Move Ministries radio program. 7 p.m., it's Pastors Mark and Kim Spellman from the Faith and Family radio program. Friday morning, Don Allen, Matt Davis, Glenn Hartline, Tom Tompkins. What I'm saying is this, that's just a way to say we have no idea who's speaking on Friday because the room is going to be filled with ministers. So it may be all of us. And then Friday night, the modern day Apostle Paul, Pastor David Craig himself will be wrapping things up for us. The 10 a.m., 7 p.m. meetings will be broadcast right here live on the 1412 Radio Network. And all the meetings, including the breakout sessions, will be broadcast through live video stream. And we're going to have those links available for you soon so you can register and you can watch for those as we get closer to the meetings. Also, if you'd like to make plans to join us in person, which is what we always recommend. We are working with Sleep In and Suites in Camdenton, Missouri. That's about 20 minutes away from the meetings. But we are working with them. And if you say that you're with Two Guys in the Bible, they will give you a special rate to stay there. And we would love to see all of you in the room with us if at all possible. Again, we've got our friends from Canada. They're going to be joining us this year. We got people coming in from Wisconsin, from Iowa, Illinois, Arkansas, Missouri, all coming in to be with us this year. So again, make plans to be there to start your year off right. Well, let me go off for a moment, as I tend to do as we open these programs here lately, talking politics. The last time that we were together, boy, I'll tell you what, it was all about Trump's lewd comments made back in 2005. And of course, certainly, again, we don't condone what he said in any way. But that's kind of what took over the news outlets for days. And they're still trying to keep this alive in the news cycle. And it's really overshadowed the last presidential debate as well, and all the horrible moderating. I mean, this is just simply ridiculous. This is ridiculous. All the while, we are 19 days away from an election, and the focus has been on Trump's comments, Trump's accusers, coming out, interviews with these women, interviews with Trump's wife, and suddenly it hit me. Suddenly I realized what's taken place. We're a distracted people. Smoke and mirrors. Don't look at the woman behind the curtain over here. Don't look over here. Who can tell me what Trump's tax plans are? Who out there can tell me? Who can actually tell me anything about Hillary Clinton and how she's going to protect this country moving forward? Can anybody tell me? I saw an interview, an on-the-street interview, you know, where these guys, they go out, they hit the street, they grab a camera and a microphone, and they ask people, why are you voting for? Who are you voting for? And this was the overall answer. The general consensus was this. Again, out on the street, just asking normal people. This was the overall answer that I saw. Why are you voting for Trump? Well, he's going to do what Obama did. He's going to invoke executive orders, but at least this time it'll be for our side, not for the Democrats. Why are you voting for Hillary? Because she's a woman. Well, because she's a woman. No joke. That's it. That was the overall consensus. Can anybody tell me that they have a full grasp on either candidate's policies, fiscal responsibility? Does anybody know the tax plan, foreign policies, Hillary's immigration plan, guns, health care? Anybody want to tell me how all that's going to work out? How about the environment, education, veterans? Oh, wait, you can't tell me because we have some of the most worthless media in recent history. You can't tell me. We have the most biased news media. I almost feel like this is communist China, where it's state-controlled media outlets. That's how I feel about this. And the debates, I mean, let's talk about hard-hitting issues. The debates, I mean, you said that President Obama was born in Kenya. You said, I mean, come on, the debates have just been full of information, haven't they? No one knows anything about what's going on because we have become a distracted nation. We are distracted, and more alarming to me, a distracted church. Now we have Christian leaders coming out. Beth Moore. How about this, sweetheart? Beth Moore, thank you. I know many of you love Beth Moore. I love Beth Moore. But we now have news outlets loving this. The headline reads, powerful evangelical women split from male leaders to slam Trump. That's real good, isn't it? That's what we want the world to see out of the Christians, that the women are splitting from the men. Now she's coming out there and she's accusing male leaders of turning a blind eye to objectifying women. She's upset because there's still Christian men pushing to vote for Trump. And she says that because of that support, Christian men are turning a blind eye to the abuses of women and what women suffer. And then on the other hand, you got Kenneth Copeland saying Christians who don't vote for Trump are guilty of murder. Now you're either objectifying women or you're a murderer. This is what's coming out of the Christian camp. You're either going to be a murderer or you Christians are objectifying women. That you will be guilty of every baby aborted from this election forward. That's what he said. You will be guilty of every baby aborted from this election forward. Well, that sounds pretty nice as the world sits back and watches the church, watches Christians. Then you got Lance, how do you say his name? Walnut? Yeah. I don't know, but so with the W. So here he is. Now we got many others, him and many others prophesying about Trump becoming president, and still others who are speaking out prophecies that Trump won't be the president. This is so cool, right? For Christianity, this is so awesome. And all while the world watches the church. The church has become so divided. We've become so distracted. Friends, can I give you a little reminder as a Christian here in 2 Chronicles 20? Here's a story it talks about, reminds me of where we are today as a nation, more specifically as believers. Here we see Jehoshaphat in the tribe of Judah, right? Can we talk a little bit of Bible? I mean, Can we inject a little bit of scripture into this thing without saying that you hate women or you're a baby killer just for a second? I mean, because that's what the Christians are now. We're either hating women or we're baby killers, I guess. But the story starts out that they suddenly find themselves totally surrounded on every side by the enemy, and not just one enemy, but a few different enemies. And so it says this. Well, of course, as it goes, people come running to the leader. They're in a panic. They begin to tell him that there's no real good options here. I mean, does this sound familiar? They all come running to him. What are we going to do? I mean, we're surrounded by every side. They love to talk about the trouble, man. They love to point a finger and say, man, look, we're surrounded by these guys and those guys and this guy and that guy. No really good options here. That sounds pretty familiar. We're surrounded and there's no way out of this one. And I love this because it says that this man did something. He's being told there's no way out. It's a bad deal. And it says immediately that he feared. It says that he feared. He's afraid. People are talking and it's distracting. And they're saying, well, you got Trump and he's no good. And we got Hillary on this side and she's no good. And we're fearful. And we're distracted. And we're looking at the candidates and we're afraid. We're afraid. We're afraid because we know what Hillary offers. We're afraid because we're not quite sure what Trump is really offering. But here's the difference. Even though he's afraid, it says he set himself to seek the Lord. In the middle of all the distraction, the trouble, the problem is real. Pharaoh's horse is about to be breathing down your neck. 19 days, friends, you have 19 days. 19 days that you can live in fear. 19 days that you can be fearful and distracted. And it's in a debate tonight that I guarantee you, I'm sure it's going to be a whopper. I'm sure it's going to be really good. I've lost all hope in humanity if these debates are going to determine what it is that we're going to vote for. Just ridiculous. But it says he set himself to seek the Lord. He set himself to seek the Lord, and he proclaimed a fast throughout all the people, and they gathered themselves together. They all gathered together to seek the Lord. Why are we not doing this, Christians? Why are they not coming together? Why is Beth Moore and Kenneth Copeland not coming together and saying, look, we may agree to disagree, but we got to pray regardless. We got to get together. We got to pray. We got to turn our eyes to God. Why are we not doing this? We're not gathering together to seek the Lord, because here's the rest of the story. This man comes to God and he says, look, these two, this isn't going to work. And he finally admits, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. My God, just admitting that is a huge deal, I think. If Christians would just say, you know what, I don't know what to do. But I love this. He said, but our eyes are upon you. That's the answer, friends. This election cycle, no matter where you stand, your eyes have got to be on the Lord. People, get your eyes on him. You're distracted. One of these people are going to be your next president either way. You're still going to have to pray. You're still going to have to seek the Lord. Whether your candidate wins or loses, you're still going to have to read your Bible. You don't like the options? Quit looking at the options and turn your eyes to the Lord. Why is it that we cannot stop and pray and ask God for wisdom on this one? I don't like either one of these. Well, either one of these are going to be your candidate. So why don't you pray and ask God what to do? Don't you think he would tell you? Don't you think that God could give you a name of which one to vote for? Don't you think he could do that? I think he could. I think he could. When I look back in the Bible, God gave answers. Now, if he gave you the answer and it's not the answer you like, you understand he knows a little bit more than you. But see, you're not even checking in with him. You're checking in with the morning Facebook post so you can get in an argument. You're checking in with the news media that doesn't know their head from their tail. You're checking in with everything else and you're in fear, but you have not stopped to set yourself and seek the Lord. You got the fear part down. Hey, we're mastering that part. We know Peter had to keep his focus, right, on Jesus to keep above the water. And some of you become so distracted, you're sinking. You're sinking. And the world is watching from the boat to see what it is that the believers are going to do. And we're sinking. We are divided. Get your eyes back on Jesus. Notice it didn't stop the storm. One of these are going to be your candidate. Don't think that there's going to be this sudden dark horse ride in and rise up as no, that's not happening. I'm sorry. Stein, Johnson, please, people, this is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But here's the thing. There was still a storm, but it caused Peter to be able to walk on it. He was able to master it. He was able to walk through it. He was able to navigate it with Jesus. So if this election brings a storm, and it has, the world is watching us, how are we going to navigate that storm? How will we master that storm? Well, here's the thing. We got to show those people in the boat that we can survive. We got to show the people in the boat that we can make it. If they name this storm Hurricane Trump or Hurricane Hillary, will you master the storm? Will you stay focused on Jesus? All right, well, that's all the Bible you're going to get. Let's talk about this double standard. This is really alarming to me. This is alarming to me. Now, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't care if it was Hillary or if it was Trump, Republican or Democrat. It sickens me when I see double standard. I just can't stand it. I just want you to give me something balanced. If you're going to attack that candidate, please equally attack that candidate. If you're going to treat that one with kid gloves, then please treat this one with kid gloves. But either way, double standard is just sickening to me. We've been so focused on Trump and all these women coming out about 5 years ago, 11 years ago, 35 years ago. Trump touched me. He kissed me. He grabbed me. He said this, he said that, and it's all we see on TV. 19 days out, I'm still seeing Trump's wife on TV having to defend comments made 11 years ago. Our focus has been drawn to Trump's issues, and people are eating it up. They're eating it up. If a Democratic campaign office, a Democratic headquarters had been firebombed and blown up, do you think the news would be blaming Hillary for it? Do you think they would be blaming Hillary for it? This is what the news outlets have done. A Republican campaign headquarters was firebombed, burned down, and the media is blaming Trump because of his speech. He's irresponsible. The things he says incites violence. And so somehow this is Trump's fault that a place got blown up. One of his own campaign buildings, and it's Trump's fault. This sounds all too familiar when everything that took place over the past 7 years was George Bush's fault, by the way. In case you forgot.
Still is.
False. Remember? If this had happened to a Democratic campaign building, we would have Trump on trial all the way down to his grandchildren. I guarantee you. Yeah. And they would dedicate every waking moment to find out who did this. If Hillary was complaining that the elections were rigged, which, by the way, there is video of this. There's video out there of top campaign people for the Democrats talking about how they rig elections out of their own mouths. But hey, people don't look at that. Our president came on TV and assured us that this is just impossible. This is just impossible. This just cannot happen here in the U.S. And he said this: Trump needs to stop whining. Those are your president's words. Trump needs to stop whining. That's what the president said. But hey, don't look at the video of top DNC people talking about how they rig elections. They are standing there telling you how they rig an election. Trump is saying he believes they're rigged. If Tim Kaine said that the media is biased towards Trump, they'd be looking for Republican suspects. Obama would turn over the full resources of the Department of Justice. But nothing. 35 years ago, Trump groped me on a plane. Snakes on a plane. 95% of the media is opposed to one candidate, but that's where we get our information. Dead people are voting, and it's strange. They always vote Democrat. Isn't that something? I didn't know all the dead people turned to Democrat. Now we have a guy who claims on social media that he works for the post office, and he's sorting through the mail, tossing out Trump ballots. Wait a minute now. If they said Hillary ballots, would it be taken serious? It's not being taken serious. It's being ignored. They're just saying, oh, he's not really doing that. He said he is. Go check it out at least. Now we get to see polling numbers, and these polling numbers coming out were taken right after the release of the video and the audio. You remember Trump's video and audio. They sat on these numbers. Check this out. There's a report coming out that said they sat on the numbers right after this video was released, right after Trump's numbers took a nosedive. They took a nosedive, right? Because the initial shock was, oh my gosh, he's raping people. He's admitting to raping people. But they sat on those polling numbers and didn't release them immediately. They didn't want to put them out right away and say, ooh, the initial shock. They held onto these numbers to take advantage in the drop. And they thought for sure this was going to be the end of Trump. And so they sat on these numbers because they just knew we're going to see such a sharp drop that it's over. The Republican base will just give up. But even sitting on these numbers, and then they released them later thinking, ooh, here. Well, they sat on the numbers and they didn't change much. It had minimal impact on his overall support, and they were just blown away. They thought this would be the next Bill Cosby effect, that all these women coming forward were going to really reveal something. What I'm saying is, well, if Trump is only behind by 4 points after this huge attack, I'm guessing today that in reality, he's really up. Why? See, this is just so confusing to the Democrats. How can these people still be behind this man? Well, let me just say, and this is just me personally, I don't like Trump. This is not a guy I would invite over to my house for Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not electing a priest. We've become so distracted. I'm not electing my next spiritual leader. I'm not going to look to Trump to be the spiritual leader of my nation. Who says that the president needs to be born again, church attending, spirit filled, evangelical, faith filled, tongue talking man of God anyways? Who said that? Who said that? Who says? Because I can tell you all this talk of the lesser of two evils, there's only one evil, only one. There's only one evil. So tell me again how much Hillary loves America. Please tell me. Tell me how much of a patriot Hillary is. Please tell me her greatest accomplishments as Secretary of State. Please tell me. Tell me of all the great comments coming from our military and our veterans. How can these people still vote Trump? People, listen, I know this is amazing. I know people just can't understand this. How are they still voting Trump? Well, maybe we're just voting no Hillary. Maybe. Maybe we're voting for life and not Trump. Maybe we're voting for religious freedoms and not Donald Trump. I mean, if we're going to talk double standard, let's hold Hillary to the fire here, because the media won't. The media will not. So we're going to play a double standard game today. Let's hold Hillary to the fire, because here's the deal. Trump is not and never has been a politician, right? We're safe to say that. Trump is not, right, never has been a politician, and Hillary has, and that's what this is all about. So then please, somebody call in and tell me exactly what she's done for New York as a senator that has made you so much better. I need to know. I don't know. I need to know. How many jobs has Hillary created? Since we talk experience, then okay. What has she done that's worthy to be elected president of these United States? Has she stood up for the sanctity of life? What has she done to be your next president? Now listen, I'm not going to talk about Trump. Don't contact me about Trump, because he gets a pass. We're playing double standard today. He is not a politician. This is what she's been running on. She's a career politician over 30 years. She keeps bringing this up. Yes, my 30 years of experience, Donald. Yes, that's right. My 30 years of experience, Donald. Okay, so what? What can we say that 30 years has provided? What? A great jobs bill? What was that one? How about national security? Are we better off? Don't mention Trump. This is double standard game today. Trump is a businessman and a TV host. Trump is a billionaire businessman, so we can't talk about his political career. He has none. But Hillary, a former first lady, a lawyer, a wife of a governor.
She loves the children.
And the wife of a president. And she was in the Senate. She was Secretary of State. Now she's the presidential nominee. Wow. That's an impressive resume, right? I mean, no joke. That's an impressive resume. It is. I mean, you would think that this is a no-brainer. Let's stack up the two candidates. A man and a woman. A man that has zero political experience against a 30-year political veteran. A man who has never directed foreign policies against a former Secretary of State. Wow. I mean, you would just think that off of her record of office and titles, this is a blowout.
Right.
This is a blowout. You would think if her 30 plus years was so good, my gosh, I would think experience alone should have this woman smashing this crazy businessman to pieces. It should be over. And yet even out of her own mouth on Ellen, Hillary went on Ellen. It's very important. She says, hey, we can't lay down. This guy isn't over. We can't count him out. 30 years. This is a no-brainer. If you stack it up, 30 years, it's a no-brainer. It's over, but it's not. Why? Here's why. You remember that time that that one huge thing that you remember how she went to bat for?
Wait, your mic's cutting out, Donnie. I think maybe your mic is cutting out.
Wait. She gave that speech and it was so moving and so powerful. You remember? Oh, I know. I remember that time that she landed under sniper fire and had to run for cover. Oh, that wasn't true? Oh, But she said that 4 times on TV. It's got to be true. Oh, it's not true. Oh. Or that time that Hillary, did you know that there are 111 scandals following Hillary Clinton? You can't tell me that one of them aren't true. 111 different scandals currently open under investigation following this woman. Let me remind you of the career that she's had in case you've forgotten.
That's what's on the resume.
I listen. I want to be sure to play double standard, right? Trump doesn't have one. He doesn't have a political career, but she is running off of her political career and her accomplishments. So let me remind everyone, because I know it slipped your mind, because you know Donald Trump saying things 11 years ago. Let me help you out today. She will say that she's for children. Okay, what'd you do for him? What did you do for him? I know she keeps saying that it was something, but what? What did you do that has so improved my children's lives today? I want to know. What? Oh, I know, you allowed Common Core. What's your accomplishment? The accomplishments of Hillary's distinguished career. Clinton State Department waived visa bans for Democratic donors. Meaning if you supported her with cash, you can come into the United States unchallenged without getting vetted. You remember that one, that accomplishment? That was a good one. How about traded under then, how about this? We traded under then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. We traded 5 Taliban enemies, prisoners. We had them locked up because they posed a threat against the United States, but at some point we traded 5 of them for a traitor who abandoned his post and joined the enemy. Bergdahl, you remember him? We traded 5 prisoners for one who should be locked up in prison anyway. And now we know that a few of those exact released Taliban went right back to fighting against the United States and have killed people. That's a good accomplishment. I'm voting Hillary. Maybe you remember this one of her accomplishments, how she violated federal rules and used a personal email as Secretary of State. Hello? Is this thing on? Oh, maybe you forgot the video. Oh, you didn't know there was a video of Hillary slamming the Bush White House for some staffer using his private email server? You don't remember the video? Oh, maybe you didn't see it. There is one. Didn't see that video? How about Hillary's State Department firing a U.S. ambassador for using a private email server? You remember that? No? Don't remember that? Remember how she changed her story on deleting personal emails? Do you remember how Trey Gowdy said that she wiped her emails clean? Remember how she missed her first campaign week, didn't even make one single appearance? Do you remember something called Clinton Cash? Ring a bell? No? How about leaked emails proving that Clinton Foundation donors allowed Russia to buy control of U.S. uranium? Remember the 136 questions that she refused to answer about her emails under oath? 136 questions.
She's so qualified, but she can't remember a whole year of her life.
No, she doesn't recall. She says, I don't recall. I don't recall that. Well, of course you don't recall that. How about the time she got on national television and said that she believed that the unborn person, she believes that babies are people, but that unborn person has no rights. Babies recognized as persons.
Rights, she said.
What's that?
No constitutional rights.
Yeah, no constitutional rights. As a person,
a couple weeks ago.
You can be killed. I know so much is being said about old Donald Trump, though, about how everyone's talking about him trying to pander to Christians, right? Donald's just trying to pander to Christians. People are saying he's just saying he's a believer, but he's flip-flopped on that, and there's no proof. He's just jumping on the wagon to get evangelical votes. But wait, let's talk double standard. Nobody was accusing Donald Trump of being a Christian until the elections, by the way. No, nobody was mistaken that Donald Trump was a Christian or not a Christian. But here you got Hillary making public claims about her deep faith and how it forms her policy decisions. Like her deep faith that says you will have to change your deep-seated religious beliefs to accept abortion. That's a quote from her. Or how about if we're talking about policies and running off a party experience and political careers? Well, let's just look at that, because aren't we hearing a whole bunch of promises coming out of the Democratic nominee? I mean, let's just look at some more of the history here. See, we can't look at Trump, not a politician, but Hillary, over 30 years. 30 years. I mean, this is it. Like in 2012, she fully supported TPP. Oh, but in 2015, she opposed it. Okay. U.S.-Korean Free Trade Agreement. 2012 supported it. Now, oh, she opposes it.
Oh.
NAFTA. 2006, it's good for the economy. 2007, 1 year later, oh, it's bad for American workers. Colombia Free Trade, 2008 against it. 2011 supports it. Raising the debt limit, 2006 voted against it. 2014, raising the debt limit is just common sense. Payroll tax increase in 2008, flatly rejected it. Today, raise the limits on your taxes. Arming Syrian rebels, 2012, no. 2015 fully supports it. Iranian rights to uranium enrichment, meaning they can eventually have nukes, people. 2014, no way. 2015 supported the deal. 2010 XL pipeline favored it. 2015 opposes it. Deportation of illegal, not legal. Deportation of illegal aliens from the U.S. in 2003. Stop employing illegals. 2015, let's expand Obama's executive action to keep them here. Driver's licenses for illegals. People that are here illegally. Driver's licenses. 2008 opposed it. Today supports it. Was against gay marriage. Now for it. Was against gun laws. Now for them. Supported clean coal. Now promises to put all coal miners and mines out of business. Lies upon lies and flip-flop. But look at what an amazing career. Let's talk about that then, because we seem to know all about Donald Trump's career and what he's done as a business deal. Bankruptcies. He's had 4 bankruptcies. He can't be president. 4 bankruptcies, can't be president. And his personal life, he's been divorced 3 times. 3 times. Hillary's husband received sexual favors in the Oval Office, people. Oh, but he's not running for president.
Wait. No, and see, she's a stand by her man woman. That shows character.
Yes. But, oh, he's not running for president. Well, then why did we talk about Trump's wife posing nude 25 years ago? She's not running for office, is she? Oh, but that's okay because of double standards. So what of this amazing career that she keeps talking about? Flunked the DC bar exams, talking about Hillary. Was removed from her House Judiciary Committee staffer job because she was incompetent and caught lying. Caught lying? No.
Oh, that didn't happen. That's a right-wing conspiracy.
No.
You're just making that up, Donnie.
Whitewater scandal. Lied about sniper fire in an attempt to simulate exposure to danger in war zones. Was so upset about the vast right-wing conspiracy that led to the impeachment of her husband. He too was disbarred. Get this one. Again, this is just a character flaw. This is who this person really is. Took furniture and artwork and other items from the White House and got caught and had to return or pay for them. What a scumbag. I'm sorry. You're going to steal stuff from the White House and you got caught. I mean, come on. A millionaire stealing stuff from the White House. Said, what difference does it make? What difference does it make about 4 brave people killed in Libya as a result of her failure to protect them? Ignored the handling of sensitive national security documents. Her brief solo professional career without Bill was a total failure. Won the Senate seat in New York only after her opponent was killed in a plane crash at the last minute. Interesting, isn't it? And so here we are, back to her political career. Will it be a repeat of her husband's win in 1992? You remember he won only because of a third-party spoiler, H. Ross Perot. He took 20 million votes away from George Herbert Walker Bush, giving it to Bill Clinton. Well, let's talk some issues today. Polling numbers at last check, Clinton 46, Trump 40, Johnson 8, Stein 4. Are we looking at spoilers again here? I've got to go to the break. I got to go to a break. When we come back, I want to hear from Matt on some real issues now. I know all that stuff I talked about is just right-wing conspiracy. I want to talk to Matt on some real issues. This is the 1412 Live right here on the 1412 Radio Network. We'll be right back.
This is 1412 Live, a program dedicated to giving you the unfiltered word of God.
Hi, this is Evangelist Kim Ware with the Call of the Warrior. You don't have to be afraid of the battle. You were made for the battle. And you're listening to the 1412 Radio Network.
This is the 1412 Live, helping you do the works and greater works.
Whatever happened to them simple days? You know that time like that. We direct our hearts toward praise. We direct our hearts toward praise. Cause now we got so many different ways to take our
Double standard.
Hey, welcome back to the program. We are talking politics today. If you have any questions or comments, I really don't want to hear your comments, but if you have any questions, no, I'm just kidding. You can send in your comments. Contact us today. Email us, Don@TwoGuysAndABible.com. Get in the chat room if you're watching on the live video stream and post there, or text 573-216-1871. Well, we're coming up on the third and final debate tonight. And I'm going to tell you, after seeing the first two, there isn't much hope that we're going to get to hear anything of any substance coming from this debate. I have no hope of anything good coming out of this debate. I have very low expectations for this one. So let's see if we can inform you a little bit here. Let's start with this. I love this one. And I really had to check and see if this was true. So Matt, I want you to inform the listeners about how it's illegal for them to read these leaked emails. I can't believe this one. Please share with them because they may not know about this and I don't want them to get in trouble. So share that with them, would you?
Well, yeah, and I don't know if all the listeners out there even know about the WikiLeaks email dumps or what those are. So real quick, you know, the WikiLeaks organization has been around for 10 years, and they claim to have exposed documents around the world, 1 million documents in 10 years, no, 10 million, I'm sorry, 10 million documents in 10 years of existence. And what these are, they make documents from the government, from organizations, corporations. They collect things from whistleblowers. They collect things from people who find out about corruption and government corruption. And they do it from all sides. So they don't target a political party. They don't target Democrats or Republicans or any particular party, but they do have a 10-year track record of exposing things that are corrupt, and not just the U.S. government, governments all around the world, places around the world. You guys can look it up. You can look at what goes on. But despite a 10-year track record of doing this, and by most standards not being wrong, they vet their material. They wait. They protect their sources. Love them or hate them. You think they're traitors or heroes. Either way about this WikiLeaks organization headed by Julian Assange, whether you love them or hate them, they have a 10-year track record of exposing these things, and that's what they do. They do it to both sides and all that. But if you didn't know this, thank God for CNN.
Yes.
Because this week, CNN told us, CNN anchor Chris Cuomo said on a national program here, thank God Chris let us know it's illegal for you, the common person. It's illegal for a normal person out there to read these leaked emails from WikiLeaks.
Yes.
But he said it's different for the media. The media, this over-governing body of the great media, they will dispense the truth. Now, he didn't say this. I'm quoting him now. Now I'm going on the Donnie rant. See, Donnie got me all fired up the last half an hour, and I've been wanting to say stuff.
And been
now
drinking coffee.
Now I'm going to go Donnie on you. The great and trustful media, who now an overwhelming majority of the U.S. says now that they don't trust what's coming out in the media. There's so much corruption now happening. And really, the goal of WikiLeaks, of what they say, is to expose this stuff. And this week they have. So I just want to assure all of our listeners out there and all the people watching us, the 1412 Live, since we're a media outlet, the sheriff's not going to come to your door and arrest you for talking about WikiLeaks.
No.
Or pulling it up. In matter of fact, it's not illegal to look at this. This is a public website. You're not going to get in trouble.
Well, here's what I love about this. This is so cool, right? CNN. This is coming from the oh so trusted news agency whose parent company gave $50,000 to the Clinton Foundation. So no ties there. I'm sure they'll tell us the truth, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will.
They're not biased at all. But just in case, if you're afraid to look up the WikiLeaks, find out what they are, we can assure you, two guys in a Bible here, we're a media outlet at this point, so it's okay. We'll tell you. We'll be your big brother and leak the news to you. But this is what happens now, Donnie. 12 days of email dumps now. We are on our 12th day of thousands of emails of revelations coming out about the media. Why do you think CNN and all these media outlets don't want you to go and check this stuff out for yourself?
Well, check this out. Here's something else that comes up. I wonder if CNN will mention how they're in these emails. See, that's the issue. They're in the emails talking about how they get pre-approved by the DNC before they release any articles or any hit pieces. They ran their stories by the DNC before they released them. And even some of their own reporters are mentioned in these emails by name, who would go and get pre-approval questions from the DNC so they could set up fake interviews. They're not asking questions as a part of an interview. They're getting from the DNC, these are the questions that you will ask. That's what's in the emails. But hey, CNN will take care of you. They'll take care of you. They'll tell you.
These journalists and reporters, folks, we are facing the highest level of corruption in the media that we've ever seen in our lifetime. This WikiLeaks revelations make the Nixon era look like makes Nixon look like Mother Teresa. There are so many revelations in the last 12 days. They've done 12 days of this. It's so much. It's hard to even keep track of this. But this new level of corruption, I'm asking, is this journalism? Is this our nation? Is this what's happening now? That what Donnie said, a political reporter offered the Clinton campaign camp a chance to edit their stories. And he called himself a hack because he gave these guys, the Hillary Clinton campaign chairman, John Podesta, a chance to edit the story. So we're not reporting anymore in this country.
Well, let me hit on that fact. Let me hit on that fact real quick. What about all the journalists who were invited to Hillary's campaign manager's house for a private off-the-record dinner meeting? We're talking about the same man, Podesta. I won't name names, but we have one from ABC, 3 from the Associated Press, 1 from Bloomberg, 1 from BuzzFeed, 1 from CBS, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, NPR, Politico, Reuters, The Hill, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal. Amazing. They are PR firms for the DNC.
All on the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton Crime Family Foundation donor list, folks. These guys all donate big money to the Clinton Foundation.
Oh, every one of them. Yes. Yeah.
This is not a conspiracy. It's public knowledge. The WikiLeaks, not a conspiracy. Public information that's out there to tell you what is happening in journalism today, what is happening in media today. It's a new level of corruption, and it's right in the public eye. And these sources, what Donnie and I are talking about right now, this is on the Washington Post. This is on the New York Times. These aren't right-wing conspiracy website bloggers who are out there just putting out false stories on the internet. These are mainstream media newspapers, so-called reporters.
You mean these aren't Bernie Sanders supporters that are sitting in their mom's basement? Isn't that what they said? Bernie Sanders supporters?
Some old boy, 40 years old, living in the basement with his parents, and he's putting out a blog.
Yeah.
That is That is not the case, guys. You've got to start thinking for yourself, looking at this stuff for yourself. The total, I think we're over 20,000 emails now that have been dumped in the last 12 days about Podesta and the campaign and how they act. Things like, and Donnie brought this up, things like the questions are given to Hillary before the town hall meetings. So she knows exactly what's going to be asked. And even more, so fine, this is all politics as usual, right? No big deal. They all do this. No big deal. How about this? How about that the FBI dumped some emails? Not even WikiLeaks. Let's stay away this week from WikiLeaks and say that's all bunk. Okay, if it is, why did the FBI just release emails? And why did those emails show that the campaign was offering favors? Favors. You guys know what quid pro quo means? That means you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. No problem. You know what we're going to do with this? While she's Secretary of State, we're gonna offer favors if we declassify some emails. You want us to do that for you? Is that okay, Secretary Clinton? Oh, wait a minute. You're just making this up. This can't happen in this country. The 30-year golden resume of Hillary Clinton can't include that she has corruption in her State Department. Oh, can't possibly do that. No, the resume is untouchable because she's a woman. The resume, you can't come against the resume. She's amazing. Well, the FBI is pretty upset. There's reports out there that many of the FBI guys and staff and people working on this case are extremely upset with the leadership because they spent a year investigating this stuff and they were ready to take it to a hearing that was going to go beyond the Justice Department. This was going to come up. We were going to have hearings. Things were going to happen with this because there was so much corruption, so much double standard.
Yeah.
Double standard, triple standard. It's unbelievable. But yet, Donald Trump's fingerprints aren't on any of this. It's so amazing. He hasn't been in the public eye. He hasn't had a chance. Apparently all he's been doing for 30 years is bad-mouthing people. If you listen to it now, you would think that this guy, I don't know, Don, maybe you can tell me, common sense-wise, how do you run an international business with 33 properties and billions of dollars of real estate properties, and all you've done for those 30 years is bad-mouth people? It's craziness.
Well, and that you're sexist and being sexist and being racist. And the list goes on.
Homophobe, xenophobe, a racist, but nobody called him this during his public life until he ran for president. Right. Nobody called Donald Trump a homophobe when he was running Celebrity Apprentice and he had lesbian and gay people on there. Nobody called him a racist.
What about even
when
the
many
Reverend
of his
Jesse
people in his
Jackson?
organization are of different than white? Nobody called him a homo against Islamic, right, anybody of Islam when they're in with him in the public eye all the time. No woman called him misogynist. And now that all these things have come out, people are coming out in droves. Families of these women are coming out saying that never happened.
Didn't Jesse
people
Jackson?
Are coming out.
Didn't Jesse Jackson just come out and say something for him about not being racist? I mean, we're talking about Jesse Jackson. I mean, he's not.
Oh,
didn't he come out and say?
And the point is, see, we don't have a public track record, even from all the way from 25 years ago when he's on there with Oprah, saying the exact things about this country. We don't have a video track record of him being a racist. He's had people of different races around him in the public eye all the time, especially on TV. This guy's had more TV time than the law allows.
Right.
And nobody before he ran for president called him a racist. But we do have a double standard going on here. Hillary has been doing all this stuff in the public eye as a public servant. She has been doing the 111 scandals. 111 scandals following this woman in the public eye. And guess what? Before this election, before she declared her candidacy, they have been talking about this. They have been asking about this. Why is there this double standard in the media that the questions about all these scandals have not been answered? So amazing. They didn't just bring this up when she ran for president. This has been brought up for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's part of the resume, but apparently that doesn't matter because we're just extreme.
Here's the Reverend Jesse Jackson. We understand who this man is, Reverend Jesse Jackson. Praises
Reverend
Trump.
Jackson.
Yes, he praises Trump for reaching out and being inclusive. Talking about the black community. The Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Wait a minute.
But it doesn't fit their narrative, so they won't share it. The Reverend Jesse Jackson. He is not a Republican. He is not white.
Oh. No, I don't think he is. Last time I checked.
No.
It's funny. Don King has been with Trump side by side for many years. Many years before Donald Trump declared his candidacy, he's had him side by side. The guys work together. But here's another one. This is great. Talk about double standard now. What has been revealed in the WikiLeaks are communications and emails and things that have put the people who work for the Democratic campaigns have exposed their little plan, and some videos have come out here where they're hiring people. They've actually hired people to go into the rally, into the Trump rally, and cause violence and make it look like Trump supporters, and try to get people to hit them, try to get people to rebel rouse. And there was actually some of those people in Colorado yesterday at the Trump rally. So isn't this amazing? These activists are coming out saying the Democrats are hiring them. Now, that's kind of dirty. But, people say, oh, that's just politics. That's just, everybody does it. It's just politics. That's just what you do. But they don't deny that it's happening. The 111 scandals, as far as I know, you know what they say about the WikiLeaks? We talk about CNN here. We talk about CNN says it's illegal for you to be reading this stuff and reading this WikiLeaks. But guess what they don't do, Donnie? The Clinton campaign doesn't deny the content of the emails.
No,
This
never.
is classic. What they do is they go after Julian Assange.
Always.
And they go after Russia. See, all this stuff that's out there, all this stuff, this corruption that has been exposed, it's Russia's fault and Bush's. I mean, President Bush has to feel really good right now because what has exonerated him from all this stuff is Russia. Now I feel like, Donnie, we're back in Red Dawn era, the 80s when we grew up.
Yeah.
It's the Russian scare. This is before the wall came down.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much talk about Russia here, and now we're in the Red Scare. This is Cold War, baby. This is pre-Mr. Gorbachev. Take down that wall.
Yes.
I mean, I'm feeling like we need to go back in elementary school and run under our desk because now we're hitting a bomb threat because apparently Russia is this powerhouse of exposing all this stuff.
Yep.
And you know what? This is what the Democrats and the Clinton campaign is saying. We need to go after Russia for hacking them. Not we need to address what's in the emails, in the WikiLeaks, in the videos, in the FBI dump. The problem is Russia. We need to look at Russia. Russia. I mean, is this Red Dawn? What's going on here? Maybe you can give me some insight into this.
Better be looking out your window. They're going to be dropping out of the sky soon.
And during Red Dawn, how could you trust a guy that's got the red nuclear button on the Oval Office desk? How could you trust a guy with his finger close to that button when we've got Russia breathing down our neck? You know, come on.
Yeah. So I love what you're saying here. Again, it all goes back to the smoke and mirror thing here. You know, well, Trump groped me. You know, I mean, let's talk about that. These women, because again, the news was all about this, couldn't get enough of it. Well, what about these women? It's amazing to me how Hillary spent a bunch of time trying to destroy these accusers who came after her husband, right? You can't believe any of those women. You can't believe any of those 20 women. There's about 20 that have actually gone on record over the years. You can't believe any of those women. We got to go after those women. We got to attack them. She's been accused of threatening them and going after these women who claim that Billy attacked them and raped them. They're saying they were raped.
Bill actually paid Jennifer Flowers an $850,000 settlement.
Yes, he did.
Not just an accusation. He paid her a settlement for those charges, those allegations.
Oh, yeah. So Hillary formed back in 1992 what was called the War Room. This was to destroy any woman who challenged Bill. She hired private detectives, and one of them broke into an accuser's house, took an answering machine tape to be sure that Hillary couldn't be heard on this recording threatening this woman. And the newly released WikiLeaks emails show that the Clintons would collect data on any of the accusers of Bill so that they could discredit them. And here's the really great thing. Democrats agree that Trump's accusers should be believed. Hillary came out and said that she believed their stories and that every sexual assault victim deserves to be heard, except for the 10 who accused Bill over the course of 3 decades. These didn't just pop up when he was elected. These scandals have been with him, and now they're getting caught in the Oval Office. I mean, that really happened. Double standard strikes again. So these women who have been accused, who have accused Trump, back to my point, the news media cannot get enough of them. And now here we have the one from the 1980s, Trump groped me in first class, and she said that the guy in the seat across the aisle could see. And I kept thinking maybe the stewardess is going to come and she'll stop him, but she never came. Well, that guy across the aisle came forward and he said, she lied. I'm the guy. And as a matter of fact, he remembers it a bit differently, that she was the one being flirtatious with Trump. Now, someone from The Apprentice is saying that she was groped and kissed by Trump while on the show. But funny thing, it bothered her so bad that she just recently contacted Trump for help and asked him to come visit her at her restaurant because she was so traumatized, right? She wanted to see him again for a visit. Oh, and she was caught saying she wishes she was still on the show. And so we can keep going down the list, but again.
And in the email, she said Trump was a model of hiring diversity.
Yes.
And treating people fairly. Yeah.
But see, Trump is guilty until proven innocent. Guilty.
Correct.
Guilty. He's guilty until proven that he did not touch Mother Teresa in Calcutta in 1967. You know he did it. We have to throw it out there, and he's got to spend time cleaning that up. It's just ridiculous. Hey, we got to go to a break here. Let me give you a quick poll, new polling numbers that just came out. I've got this for you. Check this out. We're hours before the final presidential debate. USC LA Times poll shows Trump within the margin of error at 43.9% to Hillary's 44.1%. Rasmussen has them dead even. Dead even.
Uh-oh. Today's
Rasmussen reports White House Watch telephone and online survey shows Democrat Hillary Clinton and Republican Donald Trump each picking up 42% of the votes. Dead even today.
Rasmussen, Donnie, is he Russian? He's probably Russian.
It sounds Russian.
Probably rigged
to me.
Rigged.
But now Real Clear Politics, who were at the party, by the way, who were invited to the special party with the Democrats, they've still got Hillary with a 7.2% lead at 49.1%, with Trump at 41.9%. So, we've got to kind of even that out. Hey, we got to go to a break. We're going to be right back. This is the 1412 live on the 1412 radio network. Don't go anywhere.
The 1412 live, where the Bible and the street meet. What does Jesus listen for?
You talk to him. This is the 1412.
Help! Do you need that with your family, your kids, your husband? Oh, join us every single day for family and marriage programs right here on 1412.com. This is Kim Spellman with Spellman Ministries. My husband Mark and I do a daily Monday through Friday program right here. Our emphasis on family, 8 a.m., 5 p.m., marriage at noon and 8 p.m. You'll be so glad you joined us. And we will give you that.
Hey, this is Matt from TwoGuysAndABible.com. You're listening to the 1412 Radio Network. It might be the best thing you put in your ears all day.
All right, welcome back. This is the third and final installment of our program today. Last 30 minutes with you today. Welcome back to the 1412 Live. I'm your host, Don Allen. I'm joined by Matt Davis from the Big Island of Hawaii today. We've been talking double standard today is what we've been talking about. And you might be wondering why we're nailing Hillary so hard today. Well, because she's a politician that has a past. She's the one who's at the center of the email leak. Trump doesn't have any because, well, he wasn't a politician. So no, he's not bribed foreign governments. He's not taken money from rogue nations. He's not been accused of denying help to U.S. ambassadors under attack. He's not used his private email server for state secrets. He doesn't have 30 years of scandals following him and death and failed policies. So there you go. So what other emails do we have? Because again, how about this? The whole birther issue, right? That still kept taking over. Which means nothing. My gosh, what if he did say it? What if he did say that man's I don't care. I don't care if I don't care, but this is what is amazing.
I don't think most people care.
But now we have email that has come out because this was so big. It took up part of a presidential debate. But what do the leaked emails say? After Obama's surprise victory in 2008 in New Hampshire, where Hillary comes in third behind John Edwards and Obama. You remember when she was running for president before and, oh yeah, didn't win then either. But here she is. They're running. She comes in third in New Hampshire behind Obama, behind John Edwards. Her campaign manager sent this out and where they test attack lines against Obama because he's leading. So they sent out a poll and asked if people would be less likely to vote for Obama if they knew that his father was a Muslim. This is on an email. Would you be less likely to vote for Obama if you knew that he grew up among Muslims in the world's most populous Islamic country? They were pushing the whole Muslim Islam thing. Hillary was also going to try and use Obama's supposed use of cocaine against him back in college. He used cocaine. And they were going to question his patriotism after not covering his heart during the national anthem. And it also talked about how mad Obama had gotten with Hillary and her campaign for starting a whisper campaign that he was Muslim. Wait, I thought Trump started all that. The email even shows Obama and his campaign getting a hold of her, talking about their displeasure with them trying to start a campaign about being Muslim. And yet now Obama saying, well, really, Trump did that. Hillary saying Trump did that. The media saying Trump did that. Trump saying Hillary did that, and the emails are saying that Hillary did that, and Hillary's own people are saying Hillary did that, but Trump did it. Trump did it. He did it.
Just like he blew up his own with his words, with his powerful rhetoric. He blew up.
He's got laser beams. He's got laser beams that shoot out of his mouth fire, and it's amazing. How about the attacks on Trump for wanting to build some relationship with Russia, right? That was kind of a big deal. Oh, he's all buddy-buddy with Putin, and oh, he wants to form a relationship with Russia. That's been a talking point. Well, looky here. A leaked email from Hillary saying, I would love if we could continue to build a more positive relationship with Russia. We would like to see Putin less defensive towards a relationship with the United States so that we could work together on some issues. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? She said herself, again, this woman is an opportunist. She even said herself, I have things I say in private, and I have things that I say in public.
Oh, wait. So in front of a whole bunch of Wall Street people, it came out, and her speeches, her private speeches came out that weren't released. She wouldn't release these. She only talks about how Trump won't release his tax return. But what she wouldn't release were these Wall Street speeches. I wonder why she didn't release these private ones. Because in those speeches, she told these guys she has a public view of the issues and a private stance on these things.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that interesting? So we have a proof that she has a track record where she's proud of having this double standard. A private view on things, a public view on things. I mean, don't you have that, Don?
Oh, for sure. The things I say on here, hey, when I leave here, Jay and I go to the bar. We don't mess around. Yeah. We cuss each other out and talk like Trump does when we're off air.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'm sure. Hey, don't worry, folks. Don't worry, folks. We are here for you. Here on the 1412 Radio Network, since we're a media outlet. CNN says you, as the commoner, you as the public out there, you can't read any of this email dumped from WikiLeaks. But don't worry. We are on day 12 where WikiLeaks has now dumped a total of 1,953 emails and another 18,000. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, my figures are on 1,800 from Podesta alone today. But the total for the 12 days is 18,953. And don't worry, you're not going to get arrested here on the 1412. We're here to watch your back, just like CNN. We're Big Brother. We'll take care of you. We can talk about this stuff. So you're not going to get in trouble. And we can talk about the fact that she had a public view and a private view that was exposed in all these WikiLeaks stuff.
Hey, how about this? Some real substance. Check this out. Trump comes on and talks about posing term limits for Congress. This is interesting.
Yeah, yesterday, in his speech yesterday.
I love this because, again, good old CNN gets on. And I mean, again, this just shows how smart they are. Brooke Baldwin. She gets on to bash Trump, right? Oh, Trump's got a big announcement. Oh, he's got a real thing here. And there are, and she says this, Trump, oh, he's got a big announcement. He's going to pose term limits for Congress. And she says this, there's already term limits for Congress. She was trying to show that Trump is ignorant about the issues, but oops. Vermont's senator has served for 41 years. Orrin Hatch, Utah, 39 years. I guess to make my point, 79 members of Congress have been in office for at least 20 years. Sounds like term limits are needed. Sorry, Brooke.
You know what? Wait a minute, Donnie. They're doing public service. See, this is all. God bless them. They are serving the public. And while they're serving the public, by the way, a guy like John McCain, Senator John McCain. See, I can come against him because
Arizona,
apparently he's on our side.
Yeah, Republican.
This is us versus them, and he's a Republican. So
yeah.
So can I talk about Republicans?
War hero.
I can't talk about Democrats, but I'll talk about John McCain. $150 million this guy's made while he's serving the public.
Well, but that's got to be from some book deal or
of his heart, just giving himself to serve us for all these time he's in office. He's been in office a long time. $150 million. So is that okay? Can I talk about him? But I think he's on the Republican side, but it's really interesting. He waited for Trump to endorse him. Trump endorsed him. He got in Arizona, and then he pulled his endorsement from Trump.
Yes, he did.
Wow, guys, I think you better look at both parties. I think you better look at the corruption that's going on.
Well, look at Paul Ryan and all these guys are pulling their support from their nominee. That doesn't help. Because again, I understand they probably don't like the guy personally, but can we talk party platform? All these Republicans who are not putting your best interest in mind, they're putting theirs, because if Trump gets in, he's going to drain the swamp, he said. He's going to drain the swamp.
The corruption in Washington, he's going to drain the swamp, and part of that starts with term limits. Yeah. Now, this should scare anybody in office, because They can't go back to the money till. They can't go back to the source of all this stuff, which are the connections with the money, with the media, with the corporations, with all the favors that go on. Realize, guys, they're not just there serving you. Public servants. This is not like a veteran in a war zone in Iraq giving his life for you and this nation. This is different. They're in an office getting huge benefits from being in those offices. You know, and it goes all across the board. It's amazing. Now, Donnie, let's talk about a little bit more of the double standard. What has come out now in the last 12 days in these almost 19,000 WikiLeaks is that Hillary actually said in the email that she wanted Obamacare to unravel.
No.
And yeah, I mean, I thought that this was the great accomplishment of the Obama administration. Why would Hillary say that she wanted Obamacare to unravel? How is she going to get out of that one? How is it if she wants health care for all the little children of the world? Apparently that's what she did back in the day when she was first lady. She did things that caused 8 million children to have health care. She saved 8 million children from dying. Good. Meanwhile, supporting that we've had 50 million abortions in this country, but that doesn't matter. The children, it's all about the children. She cares about the children. And now that Obamacare has saved the children with health care and given them health care, Hillary said she wants it to unravel. Why would she want that to unravel? Everybody needs to ask themselves that. Why did she call Bernie Sanders a doofus in these email exchanges? Why did she flip-flop on gay marriage? Because she's on video saying she doesn't support gay marriage, and now she does. Why? And here's a good one that came out this week, if you guys didn't know this. Why is her campaign talking so badly about the Catholics and the evangelicals and the Latinos? Those pesky Latinos. I mean, just for the record, in case somebody takes me out of context, I'm talking about what she said, the things that she has said, what her campaign has said, how they're gonna phrase things with Benghazi. How are they gonna present this to the media to make it look good? How are they gonna reach the Latinos by saying the right words? How are they gonna get to them and make sure they're on board with this? Questions need to be asked. People need to continue to question things. We need answers to these 111 scandals. We need to know why, as Secretary of State, this stuff was going on. We got to figure it out. I mean, could it all just be Bush's fault and Russia's fault? I mean, who's the latest person to blame that we're going to blame in this whole mess? I don't know. I mean, and then here, you've got President Obama yesterday criticizing Donald Trump for being irresponsible. He's irresponsible for saying that this stuff is out there. Not that this stuff happened, but he's irresponsible for saying the media is rigged. Because when he says this whole thing is rigged, he's not talking about dead people being registered to vote. He's talking about that our entire media is rigged, as has been proven on multiple angles that we have told you about this morning, proven in the WikiLeaks account, proven in the backdoor meetings, in the media events hosted by the campaign, in all these deals across the board, Republicans, Democrats, I don't know. The only innocent person here in this whole deal seems to be Jill Stein. Jill Stein. And this is the Green Party candidate, Dr. Jill Stein. And you know what Jill Stein just said? She said that if Hillary is elected, we are going to war with Russia.
I agree.
That's what she just said. Why would she say that? I mean, apparently she's squeaky clean, along with Evan McMullen, who's running for president of Utah, and he's in there somehow. I don't know if you knew that. We have a fifth candidate, by the way.
Yeah.
And then Gary Johnson. Where's Gary Johnson in all this? How come Gary Johnson isn't speaking up about all this stuff? But who you do have speaking up is President Obama, saying Trump is irresponsible. I mean, this is a whole new level of trying to pull the blinders over your eyes, folks. Oh, but it's all just, and even the voter fraud, all that rigging, Trump being responsible with talking about this, he shouldn't even be talking about this. Just like it came out this week that an elections expert says that now there's 4 million ineligible dead voters on the rolls.
How many of them are voting Republican? I want to know. How many are voting Republican?
How many of those dead people are voting Republican? But, Trump is irresponsible for talking about this. He shouldn't be talking about those ineligible people to vote. He shouldn't be talking about this media bias. He shouldn't be talking about all this. He just needs to be a good little candidate and get along. If he would just get along with them, then it'd be fine. They would like it. It's just like if we would just get along with everybody. If you would just back down off this stuff and not be so harsh on it, people would like you more.
Oh yeah.
And this is the problem here. What happens, folks, in this nation? This corruption. I said at the top. This makes Nixon look like Mother Teresa. This is amazing. What happens? This is why every citizen, every American should be concerned about this and looking at this. Because what happens now when all this stuff comes out and it's hidden and people just call it rhetoric, just talk. Oh, this is just hearsay. This is just politics. It waters down the fact that there's truth out there, folks. And somebody's got to stand up. And I think a lot of people want people to stand up and call it what it is. This stuff is corruption. This stuff is fraud. It's rigged. It's ridiculous. I mean, I just don't. If you're out there and you're listening to this, you may be wondering, what did I tune into? What is this thing? What are you guys talking about? I thought we were talking about Bible. We want you to dig for yourself. We want truth. As Donnie said at the top of the hour, we're not electing, I don't know what you call them, we're not electing a spiritual leader in chief. I'm not electing the Pope of this nation. I'm not electing the pastor in chief of this nation. You know what we want? Truth to be revealed. You got to think for yourself. You got to start digging, just like you are personally responsible for digging in your own Bible. You're personally responsible for talking to the Holy Spirit. You're personally responsible for your relationship with God. You got to dig for truth. You got to know what's going on and not let CNN tell you what you can watch, what you can read. I mean, where have we Johnny, you think of some of these presidents of the past, you think Abraham Lincoln would go for this stuff? He's held up as, he was in the last debate. I think Lincoln was at the last debate.
Yeah.
He was there. Did you watch the last presidential debate? Honest Abe made an appearance in that debate. What do you think he would say about this? If a media outlet said you couldn't read something.
Yeah,
Come on.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
What happened to free speech here, folks? No, you're just a racist. You're a demagogue. You're a homophobe. You're a xenophobe. If you want to read news for yourself, if you want to look at this stuff for yourself, you're just trying to block the Democrats from getting anything done. That's what you're doing. See? Yeah. Go ahead. I gotta let you go.
It is not the same America as when he was here. It would go against everything that I believe they were probably trying to fight for. And
we want truth, folks.
What's amazing to me is that the rest of the world is watching this, and they've just got to think that we're crazy. They've just got to be looking at us just thinking these people have lost their ever-loving mind.
Absolutely. And what's your job as a believer, Donnie? We got to bring this around. You, as a believer, you need to use your authority that you have in Christ right now to speak against these things. Come against the corruption and all this stuff going out. And you know how you do that? You declare over your town as you're out there right now. And even our good friends here in Argentina and the people watching and to the live broadcast here and listening on the 1412, wherever you're at in your town, in your country, this just isn't about American. This is about where you're at.
Yeah. What
you can do. Don't feel helpless. All this overwhelming media, all this overwhelming corruption, you may be tempted out there to think there's nothing you can do about it. And yet, you are just the person to do something about it. Begin to speak against this stuff. Begin to say over your town, light be, truth come out. Say to your town and declare over your town, in Jesus' name, all this stuff will be exposed. The truth will come out. We will see God's will happen in my town. We will see God's will happening in my county, in my state, and in my nation. If you're out there in another country, you say and you declare liberty for the captive. You say Jesus is the one that set you free. He is the king of this nation. He is Lord over this nation. He's the one who's the commander in chief, as Donnie started out at the top of the hour. That's the truth. Begin to speak the truth over your city right now today. You don't have to feel overwhelmed. You can do this, believer. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're talking politics. Just to rouse you up, get you all excited, get you going, get you stirred up so you do something. That's what we do best.
We can't sit back and do nothing. And that's what happened in the last election cycle. And so my real issue today, we would want to leave you with this. Would you stop and pray and ask God, who do I vote for? Can you ask him that? I want you to just ask him. I don't have an answer. I want you to stop and ask God, who should I vote for, Lord? Because he sees what's going on. He knew what he was getting into with these people. And maybe it wasn't that, maybe I'm not going to say that it was God's plan to have these two be the people that were standing up there, because just like Israel wanted a king and he didn't want him to have a king, he said, you want a king? I'll let you have a king. But there's going to be some consequences. There's permissive will, there's perfect will. So maybe these two candidates are permissive will candidates. Maybe one of the others was his choice. I don't know. Don't ask me to say who I think it is. I don't have any idea who I think it is. I'm just playing what if. But in the end, here we are stuck with these two. Ask God. Ask him, Lord, out of these two then, if this is my choice, these two, do you want me to not vote? Like, we're talking maybe Glenn Beck action here, no action, or voting for some random, person out there. Let me just tell you, Glenn, let me talk about that. Glenn Beck, he must have fallen down and bumped his head or something. His hate for Trump has consumed him. And he says, the world won't end if Hillary gets elected. And he's right. He's right. It won't. He says she can be fought. He admitted that he thought about voting for Hillary, but he couldn't do it. So he's voting for Darrell Castle. You all know Darrell Castle, right? Oh, you don't? No, of course you don't.
What?
Of course you don't. But he's talking about being a moral issue to vote for Trump. He says, if the consequences of standing against Trump and for principles is indeed the election of Hillary Clinton, so be it. At least it's a moral and ethical choice. He's not saying Hillary's a moral and ethical choice, but what he's saying is he can't vote for Trump because it's a moral and ethical choice. And if Hillary happens to get in because I'm not voting for Trump, well, hey, so be it. No big deal. Friends, that's not the stance to take. You've got to stop. You've got to pray. You've got to ask the Lord. Listen, you've asked him to guide you all through your life. Why not this? Why not this? Now, have you always liked the answer that the Lord has given you? See, that's the problem. We ask the Lord set up questions, don't we? because we want to inject what we think should be happening, right, Lord? We want to go ahead and do things and have him bless it later instead of going to him and finding out what it is we should have done in the beginning. So pray. You've got 19 days. That's all you've got is 19 days to get it together, America. 19 days. Darrell Castle's not going to win. Stein's not going to win. Stein came out and said, how much more has to come out on Hillary before the government does something? For the love. And she's even recognizing, come on. So again, guys, listen, you've got to check out party platforms. This is what I'm voting. When I ask the Lord, what do you want me to vote for? I want you to vote for life. I want you to vote for freedom, religious freedom. I want you to vote for against immorality. So when I begin to look at candidates, then that's what I'm looking for. What are they going to represent? What's the party platform? We've got to talk party platform. This just came in. We vote Trump, we get Pence. We didn't even get to talk about, I wanted to talk about these guys today, the two vice presidents.
We were going to talk about the vice president.
I've got a lot to talk about here with the vice presidents. We'll have to do that next week. But when you vote Trump, you vote Pence, it says. If you vote Hillary, then you're getting Tim Kaine. Now,
you say
one breath away. One breath away. Right? One breath away from the presidency. So who do you vote? Because again, it's a package deal. It's a package deal. Republican Governor Mike Pence or Senator Tim Kaine. Go check those two out. Go see which one is asking you to pray for them. Go see which one voted for religious freedom and to protect you. Go see which one says you have to change your mind and your deep-seated religious beliefs. Go see which one. You got to go check it out, friends. Guess what? We're out of time today. That is all the time we have for today. That is it. So be sure to watch these debates tonight. It's your nation, not Trump's. It's not Hillary's nation. This is your nation. Stay informed. You have 19 days to do the right thing. And be sure to pray. Be sure to talk to God. Hey, that's it from all of us here at the 1412 Live. We are out, but don't you go anywhere. We want you to listen to the 1412 Radio Network all day long. Coming up here in about 15 minutes is the Inner Pulpit Radio Blast with missionary pastor Rick Bell. And at 1 p.m., it's the Mad Christian Radio Show. Artist interviews, new music, devotions. Go check it out. Don't go anywhere. When this video comes out today on Facebook, YouTube, please share that. Please share that with people and have them join us next week right here, same time, same place. We're going to talk vice presidents next week. And who knows what else is going to come out of this whole deal with the
another 10,000 WikiLeaks email dump.
Who knows? We're going to try to sort through all of that. Bless you all. Thank you all for joining us today. Again, don't go anywhere. Stick around right here on the 1412 Radio Network. Be blessed. We will see you next week.
You've been listening to the
Thanks everybody for being with us on the live broadcast.
Join us next Wednesday.
Have a good day. We love you all. Thanks.
Time, on the only station helping you to do the works and greater works.